Good evening, everybody. You're watching the Just Keep Up podcast, where we're one step ahead. I'm Kurt Johnson. This is Pete Zindros. We're excited to be back to you guys here on this Tuesday. We have a great show planned for you tonight. We have a lot to talk about, lots to get into. Big show. Our featured story tonight, we're going to be talking all about the devastating news of Dallas Mavericks guard Kyrie Irving. He suffered, a torn ACL, and so he's going to be out for the rest of the year indefinitely, and most likely most of, if not all of next year. Because if you remember, an ACL usually takes 10 to 12 months minimum to recover. Sometimes it's a little longer, right? And so he's going to be out for this year and possibly all of next year, which is just insane to think about. And it's like the worst case scenario for Dallas. And I mean, I'm not going to say I told you guys so, but I called it when I said this was a going to be a bad move to decide that you want to trade your generational talent in Luka Doncic for two number two options now that's going to run your team that are 33 and 34 years old respectively, that are injury prone. And you see this now where Anthony Davis is not, he's played what, a half for Dallas, and Kyrie just now tears his ACL, and he is now out for the year. So, just devastating news. But I'm devastated for Kyrie. I'm not really devastated for Dallas. I don't know about you, but I'm not really devastated for Dallas at all. Like, they put this on themselves. We're going to talk all about it. And then we're also going to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers. They now moved up to the second seed in the West. What? And they're on currently a 6-game win streak. They've won 14 of their last 16 games. They have the highest rated defense in the last 7 weeks. Okay, that's not a small sample size. 7 weeks, number one ranked defense. 9 straight games they've given up less than 102 points, which has never been done. And the last time it's been done was, I think, 2021. So it hasn't been done in the past 4 years. So you're seeing the Lakers play really solid defense, play really good basketball. They're the second seed in the West. So we're going to talk all about it, guys. Before we get into it, I'm going to remind you to like and subscribe, help us to impact and to reach as many people as possible. With in addition to that, guys, follow me on YouTube and Rumble, guys, at Kurt's Philosophy, if you are interested in the world's deepest, darkest secrets. My friend, do you have anything before we start the show? It's glad to be back.
Nah, I don't.
All right, sounds good, guys. So yeah, like I said again, guys, we're glad to be back to you. We took a little bit of a hiatus. Okay, a lot of it was on me. I'll take the blame for that. It's been a rough go for me as of late. But I'm here. We're here, and we're gonna give you guys a great show. So we're gonna get into our featured story first. So Kyrie Irving suffers a torn Achilles, and he's going to be out for the remainder of the year. And I'll read you guys an article. This is from Sham Sharani. He's the NBA Sports Insider. It says Dallas Mavericks All-Star Kyrie Irving has suffered a season-ending torn ACL in his left knee, the team announced Tuesday. While expressing optimism, the veteran guard will come back stronger than ever. Irving, 33 years old, sustained the injury late in the first quarter of the Mavericks' loss to the Sacramento Kings on Monday night. The injury is a devastating blow to the Mavericks season, as Irving was the team's best overall player and appeared in 50 of the team's 62 games. Irving, who made his ninth NBA All-Star team in February, is the only NBA player this season averaging at least 20 points per game, 40% from three-point shooting, and 90% from the free throw line. It's the fifth season in which the 14-year career in which he has reached or surpassed those averages, the second most all time to Steph Curry. So, guys, there you have it. There's the news. Just devastating news again. Kyrie Irving is out for the remainder of the year. I'll ask some follow-up questions, but my first just question to you, my friend, is just going to be, give me a recap of how you feel in your thoughts about this devastating news.
I feel bad for Kyrie, man. I mean, he's a good guy. He obviously didn't deserve this. Nobody deserves this, in my opinion. Um, but I'm not gonna lie. I think he might be cooked as a player. I think that might be it for him. I mean, he is 32 years old. He might not even play next year. So if you factor in that he could possibly be back and be 34 years old coming off a torn ACL, I don't know. That doesn't sound very good to me. And then from there, the injuries just start to rack up, and rack up more. And as we know, Kyrie, he's an injury-prone guy. So I think this might be it for him. I'm gonna be completely honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's just devastating. I mean, for Kyrie Irving, Kyrie Irving had a complete 180 in terms of his career and in terms of how he's viewed, by his peers and by the media and by everyone in general. The rhetoric around Kyrie Irving prior to him in Dallas is he's a head case, he's tough to deal with, he's talented, but I don't know who's going to take him on with all of his baggage, etc. To being the perfect teammate, to being the perfect basketball player as you can be, and to being a leader. Kyrie Irving is that he is a leader. And, if I were to tell you that 5 years ago, you would say you're crazy. And that's what he's turned himself into. So it's just incredibly sad to see for Kyrie Irving, although not for Dallas. I don't feel sorry for the Dallas Mavericks organization as well. I feel very bad for their fans, but I don't feel bad for the Dallas Mavericks organization. They put this on themselves. How can you not have thought that this may have been a possibility? You traded for Anthony Davis, who by the way was injured when you traded him. And then in his first half, he gets hurt. He's out for a month. And I'm supposed to feel sorry for that? I mean, you traded for a guy who was injured when you traded for him, and he's injury prone. So I don't feel sorry for that. You then said, well, I'm going to put the ball in Kyrie Irving's hands. Why? Because I traded away my floor general and my best player. And I'm going to trade away all of the guards that handle the ball. And I'm going to make Kyrie handle the ball 45 minutes a game. Kyrie Irving, since the Luka Doncic trade, led the league in minutes. Kyrie also led the league in what is it? It's not PER, usage rate. So if you play him the most minutes in the league, he has the highest usage rate for an injury-prone 6'2" guard trying to carry a team without Anthony Davis. What do you think is going to happen? He gets hurt. So, and these are all things that Dallas could have avoided, and they chose not to. And so, Dallas over and over again proves why this will go down as one of the worst trades in NBA history. I said this even when people were trying to say that Dallas would be better this year. I'm like, are we not considering the fact that they traded away Luka for an injury prone guy to pair him up with another guy that's injury prone? And I didn't predict that Kyrie would tear his ACL, but I did predict that their stars would miss games. And you see right now they're struggling to stay afloat. They're 1-6 in their last 7 games because Anthony Davis got hurt. So Kyrie's trying to carry Spencer Dinwiddie. Like that's the second best player. It's like you didn't factor that in when you traded away your generational talent. So no, I don't feel bad for the Dallas Mavericks at all.
Yeah, I mean, the Luka trade definitely got worse. I mean, it was already known Anthony Davis and Kyrie were both injury prone, which was one of the many reasons why Dallas obviously lost the steal. Dallas did this deal because they felt like the team would be better based off a constructional fit. However, when you make a trade, you don't just think about constructional fit off the bat. You look at how old the guy you're receiving is, how healthy can he stay? And Anthony Davis is old and injury prone. And I mean, the guy that you were relying on to pick up after Luka, which is Kyrie, is also injury prone. Those are things that you have to factor in. Even if they thought the team would be better under Anthony Davis, they didn't factor in anything else. They just said, okay, we think Davis makes more sense for how we want to play basketball, so we're just going to take him on. Uh, did you guys forget about your future? Can the guy stay healthy? Can your other guy stay healthy? All of those things were no, and those are two of the many reasons why the Mavericks lost this trade, and the trade has just gotten even worse. Because think about it, guys. Think about it. Kyrie might not even play next season. So, and even if he does come back, it's probably going to be late in the year. Who knows if Anthony Davis is even going to be available and playing either? And honestly, bro, if you factor in that they need to develop chemistry and all this stuff, and Kyrie needs to get going, you basically toss the season out the way and say, okay, we're going to play for the following year after that.
Mm-hmm.
By then, Kyrie is going to be 34. Anthony Davis is going to be 33. And
Nope,
it's like, bro,
35 and 35. Because
yeah,
Kyrie's
it's even
birthday's in a couple days, so he's going to be 33 years old. If you mix next year, that's 34, and then you come back the following year, you're 35 going on 36. Like, bro,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. And I mean, a torn ACL is not an injury that's easy to come back from, especially at Kyrie's age. So they're honestly cooked, bro. When you look at it in the grand scheme of things, the Dallas Mavericks probably just traded Luka Doncic for Max Christie in the first. In the grand scheme of things, they probably did, bro, because I mean, now with this injury, they're pretty much guaranteed to not do shit in the AD era. Cause I mean, bro, I mean,
you're
who
not,
knows
bro.
how much longer this guy's even be gonna be good for? Like, bro, he's a big man who gets injured every year. Like these guys don't last till 40 years old. They just don't. And then his best player on top of that is also a little older than him, and he just tore his ACL. So yeah, bro. I mean, when you look at it, they probably did trade Luca for Christie in the first.
Bro, again, I hate to be right all of the time, but it's like I was the only one online, and Pete could vouch for me because he was included in it. I was the only one besides Brian Windhorst. I was the only one. Everyone else said Dallas got better. Dallas is a better constructional fit. Dallas is going to go further than the Lakers this year. Dallas is ready to win now. And I was the only one that said, are we forgetting who we're talking about? You're pairing two number two options that's never proven that they can be a number one on their own. You pair them up. Are we forgetting that these guys are one, injury prone, and two, it's not like these guys are young chickens, right? Like these guys are old heads in the league. They're gonna miss time. And I was the only one that called it. I said it on air. I said they're going to miss time. Right now, did I think that Kyrie was going to tear his ACL again? No, but I do know that he was going to miss time. He's going to get injured, and I knew that Davis was going to get injured. And so even if Kyrie didn't get injured, people were having questions. Davis is going to return with just maybe 5 to 6 games left. Are they really going to do anything in the postseason realistically? No. And then you're leaning more towards next year now, which is like, whoa, I thought this was a 1 to 2 year window. I thought Dallas was better. Now they're going to be better next year. Well, now it turns out they're not even going to be better next year because Kyrie's going to miss 75 to 80% of next year at best, right? Not to mention best case scenario, AD stays healthy through it all, which we can all bet that he's not going to. I mean, he got injured with Kyrie, Klay Thompson, and all these guys out on the court. Now, without Kyrie and the ball going through AD and the usage rate being high and the minutes being high, he's definitely going to get injured. So, Dallas is cooked, bro. They're cooked. They are absolutely cooked. And Kyrie's going to come back. He'll be a good player. Of course, he's Kyrie Irving. He's always going to be good at basketball. And Davis will be solid, but it's not going to be enough to compete with OKC. Are you kidding me? It's not going to be enough to compete with 26-year-old, 27-year-old Luka Doncic. You kidding me? So, it's like this trade was an L from the beginning, and I called it. I said it was going to be they lost this trade badly, and I mean you see it now where this was a 1 to 2 year window. Well, the 1 to 2 year window is gone just like that.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. I mean, I did say the Mavericks lost the trade. I personally just thought from a constructional fit that they had improved, but ultimately that alone does not win you a trade because when you factor in, the age and the injuries, they lost heavily on both of those things, and it's already came back to bite them in the ass not even 1 month into the deal. So yeah, I mean, horrible deal for them. Arguably the worst deal ever, and it just got even worse. This is really all I have to say.
Yep. Because think about it. If this happens and Luca's on the team, what's the rhetoric? The rhetoric is they still got Luca. Like maybe they might maybe no one's picking them to make the finals. But if someone told you if you got into a car accident and then you woke up 4 months later and someone said Dallas is in the finals, you'd be like, oh yeah, not surprised. Luca went on a generational run. You wouldn't be like, what? How the hell did like you know what I mean? It wouldn't shock you. Like, yeah, would you bet your money on it? No. But it wouldn't shock you if Luca single handedly carried them on a finals run. That wouldn't shock you. At least that wouldn't shock me. That wouldn't shock most people that watch basketball. So I mean, he carried the team to the Western Conference Finals a couple years ago. His second best player was Jalen Brunson, and Jalen Brunson wasn't who he is now. So yeah, man, it's just I feel bad for Kyrie. I feel bad for Dallas Mavericks fans. But for Nico Collin or what is his name? Nico Harrison is his
Nico
name.
Harrison. Yeah,
Yeah,
Nico
Nico
Harrison.
Harrison. For Nico Harrison, we're on YouTube. Never mind. Um, yeah. Do you have anything else to say about this before we move on?
Bump your security up, Nico. Those fans are coming for you. Bump your security up.
Yeah, bro, wild, bro. Like you guys are really better off moving to Vegas. Like I heard that they want to move the team to Vegas and build a casino inside and everything. Like they're best off doing that, bro. Don't stay in Dallas, bro.
I'm not going to lie, bro. I was actually thinking about it. You want to know a conclusion I came to? This is a conspiracy theory. I have no evidence to back it up. But when you think about it, I think it kind of makes sense. So, you know how the Mavericks are about to move to Vegas? I think the NBA allowing them to do so, which is obviously going to generate more money for the Mavericks organization. I think in exchange for that, the NBA said, okay, listen, our ratings are down really badly right now. We'll let you move to Vegas, but you have to do us a solid. Send Luca to the Lakers. Would you guys be surprised if the NBA was involved in this?
I definitely said that. I just felt, and Pizza Witness, he was in the group chat that I texted it when it happened. This was, right when Luca got traded. I said, or this was right after the trade deadline. But I was like, bro, I don't know if you remember, but I texted group chat. I was like, do you guys think that the NBA could have possibly have done this on purpose? Like we've never seen an NBA trade deadline like this, and it just so happens that the
Mm-hmm.
ratings were the lowest that it's ever been. I don't know if you remember, but I asked you guys that question. So it's like it's kind of weird to see how this is the most active trade deadline of all time, and the ratings are the lowest it's ever been. I don't think those two are just coincidences.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, like I have no evidence to back up if the NBA actually was involved. But when you look at everything going on, like the Mavericks potentially moving to Vegas, which is gonna generate them in profits, and then you look at the NBA being really down bad in ratings, you kind of think to yourself, how the hell did Luca get traded for Anthony Davis? I mean, I think it kind of makes sense if you ask me. I mean, who knows? We'll never know the answer, but if you ask me, I wouldn't be shocked if evidence ended up coming out saying that this was an inside job by the NBA.
You know what the NBA needs, bro? The NBA needs the Lakers to win the NBA Finals, whether it's this year or next year. But they need the Lakers to win the finals because, they're looking for their next face. And, Luca has to be it, and LeBron has to pass the torch, to Luca. The NBA Finals ratings has been down since Steph Curry was in there and in 22. And even when Steph Curry was there, the ratings were still lower. The highest that the ratings were that were in the finals were in a little drought right now, but it was obviously when LeBron was in the finals. So, the NBA needs LeBron James right now. And they need him to play on the biggest stage, and then they need him to pass the torch to Luca, bro. Like that's honestly that's what they need, and they need people to be like, "Yo, LeBron really passes torch to Luca," blah blah blah. Like, you know, that is what I think the NBA hopes is what happens, but we'll see. Because if a team like OKC wins the finals, they're trying to push Shea and they're trying to make it seem like he has aura and all that, and it's like yeah, he cool, but you know people just aren't gravitating towards what for whatever reason. For whatever reason, the NBA is in a tough position right now, and I feel like they're trying to push Luka to be the face.
Yeah, I mean, the NBA usually doesn't like to push foreign guys like that, but I think they really don't have a choice but to start to. I mean, you have Luka, you have Victor Wembanyama. I mean, bro, these two guys are probably going to be the two best players of the next generation. So it's like, are you not going to promote the two best players that you have? Like right now, even right now, Nikola Jokic is probably the best player in the NBA, and they're not even promoting him. Like they're not. And when he's done, it's like who else are they going to promote? There's Luka and Wembanyama, who are probably going to be the top two players, as I just said. What are they going to do? Not promote them either? They're not going to have a choice, bro. So I think they're kind of getting into the mindset where it's like, okay, the best players of our league are just foreign now. We just don't have a choice. What is the best possible way to promote them? Get them in big markets. And I think Luka going to the Lakers to take the torch from LeBron makes perfect sense, along with everything else. Like, the Mavericks going to Vegas, which the NBA told them, we'll let you do that, but to send Luka to the Lakers, I mean, I think it adds up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But all right, guys, we'll move on. We'll get into our last topic here. We're creeping up on time already, guys. But we'll talk about our last topic here, which is the Los Angeles Lakers. So they've been on a tear again. They've winners of six in a row. 14 of their last 16 games. They are the second seed in the West currently. They have held the number one ranked defense for 7 weeks straight now. This is the ninth game in a row that they've held teams to less than 102 points. That's hasn't been done since 2021. And so they're doing a lot of good things during the stretch. They've beat in during this little stretch here. They've beaten the Nuggets, they've beaten Dallas, they've beaten the Timberwolves, and they've beaten the Clippers twice. So this is heavy, heavy competition. That they're winning pretty convincingly. I mean, none of these games were super duper close. Like the Clippers games, the final score looks close, but especially that second game, like they were up 20 at one point, kind of, took their foot off the gas. Clippers made it interesting at the end, but none of these games are like really that close. Like, even the game that Dallas played, that the Lakers played Dallas, they were up 15 at that point, kind of put their foot up, off the gas a little bit. Kyrie made a little run at the end, but the Lakers are just winning these games, bro. Like they're playing harder. They're playing harder. And remember, the rhetoric once the Lakers traded for Luka was they're not doing it for this year. They can't win this year. LeBron can't play off ball. This is a move for the future. And again, myself and Brian Windhurst were one of the only ones that were saying, why can't the Lakers be good now? Why can't the Lakers be good with Luka and LeBron and go on a title run right now? And people said, well, it's because they don't have a center, right? And then the whole thing with Mark Williams happened. That trade got rescinded, whatever the case may be. I still thought that this team, Pete's my witness. You guys are all my witness. I said this live on air, that the Lakers are better right now than Dallas and that the Lakers will be better in the future than Dallas. And you're seeing it right now. The Lakers are now the second seed in the Western Conference. Uh, they play some heavy competition moving forward again, but they played heavy competition that I just mentioned. They have the Celtics, they got the Knicks, they have the Bucks. They have the Suns, they got the Nuggets again, they got the Bucks again. So we'll see. But right now they're currently second seed in the West. They're playing great basketball right now. Winners of six in a row, and this is with Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura being out. So this is not even them at full strength. So what's your take on how the Lakers have looked without a center? How they looked in general, winning six straight, number one ranked defense, all of it. What's your take on it?
I think they've looked pretty good. I mean, we covered the Nuggets game in one of our previous shows, but over the past week, they beat the Timberwolves and the Clippers back to back nights. I mean, the Timberwolves game, they pretty much blew them out. Like the score was closer than the game actually was because they were up over 20 points at one point. The Timberwolves made like a little run in the fourth quarter to make the score look a little better, but ultimately the game wasn't close. So that's a good one right there. And they just beat the Clippers back-to-back games. Watching those Clipper games, though, it seemed like the Lakers just dictated the pace of the game the whole way. Like if you watch the game, it was consistently like a 5 to 10 point defensive battle. What really surprised me about the Lakers was actually how good they've looked defensively. Like somehow they lost Anthony Davis and their defense got even better. And it's not like they got a defender in return in the package either. So that I will admit I did not see coming at all. I did not think the Lakers were going to be this good defensively. But yeah, I mean, it seems like they could win games in multiple ways. They could win games, dictating the pace on offense, which was the case against Denver. It was a high scoring game. They scored a lot of points. They won defensive battles, which they did the last two games against the Clippers, and they straight up blew out Minnesota. So it seems like they could pretty much beat you in multiple ways depending on the scenario. So I'm still staying on my stance that they're at worst making the Western Conference Finals with their ceiling ultimately being a championship.
Okay. And then what do you think? I know you kind of touched on it. You kind of said, you don't, no one really knows, but what would be your best guess as to why the Lakers are rolling the way that they're rolling and why the defense is playing the way that they're playing without Anthony Davis?
I mean, offensively, I don't think it should be a shocker that they're better under Luka than Anthony Davis. I mean, Luka's obviously the much better player on that end. So I don't really have to say too much from there. But defensively, though, I think what mainly made them better on defense is two things. Number one, I think, is JJ Redick's game planning. I think now that he doesn't have Anthony Davis, he's game planning a little bit differently because he knows he doesn't have like an extremely elite defender like he once did. So I think the schemings he's putting out there is making it kind of easier for his guys to, go out there and defend and stuff rather than before when he was just being more reliant on Davis. He was just saying to all his other guys, okay, guys, just guard up. If they blow by you, Davis is down there. I think now he's putting more of like a defensive scheme in there to make it easier for his guys so that they play better team defense rather than just relying on Anthony Davis to throw them off. And then the second thing I think is that guys are just playing with more effort now. Like now that they know they don't have Anthony Davis behind them, they're playing tougher on defense. And that could also be another reason why like some of these Laker games are just defensive minded wins. Like, like against the Clippers, how many points did they score? Like between 105 to 110 in each of those games, I believe. So,
Yeah, yeah, 106 and then 106 and then 108.
yeah, exactly. Like that's not like a super offensive minded game. They won off of defense. I think, guys are exerting their energy defensively, and then Luka and LeBron are kind of just dictating the pace on offense.
Yeah. So, my take on the Lakers and how they look is they look tremendous. And again, I hate to be right, but I was right about this as well, where I said, the Lakers did get better from this trade right now, and you'd see immediate evidence of it. And, that's what you're seeing. LeBron is playing off ball, so he's having energy to play off the ball more, and he's having energy to play on defense. And you're seeing it where LeBron James is playing, and JJ Redick said this, at an all NBA first team defensive level. And right now, from the rhetoric around the league, is he will get that first team nod if he continues to play uh, like this. He will get that first team all defensive NBA nod. I mean, you saw it at the end of the Clipper game when LeBron had that chase down block at 40 years old. It's just insane. And so he's engaged on defense. He looks good. He looks rejuvenated. He struggled shooting the basketball last night, but that was his first. I looked through the stats. That was his first game that he struggled shooting the ball in 5 weeks. Like he's shot up until last night since turning 40. He's shot in 47% from three. 47% since he turned 40 prior to the last game. He's at 45% now because he shot 1 of 6 from three. But prior to that, he was 47%. That is unreal. And then you ask yourself, why is that? It's because he's playing off ball more, so he has a lot more energy now, right? And he has the energy to play some defense, and so you're seeing that. Um, so the first reason that the Lakers look good is because of LeBron James, right? They're set. The Lakers are 7-1 when Anthony Davis or Luka doesn't play. So when LeBron plays by himself, uh, the Lakers are 7-1, and LeBron is averaging 36 points a game during those games, 36, 8-8. So he's the reason why the Lakers look good. And then obviously, when those guys are playing, LeBron doesn't mind taking the back seat. Let these guys shine. If they don't have it, I'll take over when it's needed. We saw him score 16 points in the fourth quarter against the Clippers the first game. So, you see LeBron in spurts. When he needs to take over, he absolutely will. The second thing is Pete touched on it, but JJ Redick's coaching. I mean, you have to look at him and say he is a top 5 coach in basketball with what he's doing. It's not just the Lakers are winning, but Brad Stevens has done the same thing with the Boston Celtics before he took the GM spot or the president spot, whatever. Was you do not have the personnel to play how you're playing, and the Lakers just do not have the personnel defensively to be the number one ranked defense. Boston, during Brad Stevens' times, did not have the teams to be having the number one ranked offense and the number one ranked defense. But they were those teams. They had a great offense and they had a great defense. And you're looking around the league and you're like, well, you have Tatum, you have Brown, you have, it's like, you got to remember this was 5, 6 years ago. You're like, I don't know, how is this number one ranked, whatever. And so he gets elevated quickly. And you're seeing that with JJ Redick, where you're looking at the Lakers personnel and you're saying they don't have number one ranked defensive personnel. And then you say, oh, it's because they have a great coach that's putting his players in the best position to be successful. Do you guys know Luka Doncic as a Laker is averaging 3 steals a game? Did you guys know that in his last game against the Clippers, he had 5 steals? He's had 2 games as a Laker where he's had 5 or more steals. He's only played 7 games with the Lakers. He has 2 games with 5 steals. Like, bro, if JJ is Luka doesn't play good on ball defense. He's putting him in a situation where he can sit back and assess the defense and realize where the pass is going and then to anticipate it and steal the ball, right? So he has Luka kind of playing center field, if you will, right? Because he's such a good IQ guy where he's like, I'm not going to put Luka on the ball where he can't defend and he's slow and he can't move. I'm going to put him off the ball defensively where he can kind of lurk the passing lanes, right? And so when you have a coach like that, that's going to put your players in the best position to be successful, not only offensively, but defensively, you have a top coach in the NBA. JJ Redick is the top coach in the NBA. And then the last thing, like Pete said, is the guys are fighting. They're playing with energy. They're playing with heart. And this is another thing that Darvin Ham would have never done. Never came up with the schematic things and never would have came up with the guys working hard and the guys putting out effort the way that they are under JJ. When guys are willing to dive, when LeBron James is diving on floors and he's blocking shots off the glass and LeBron's giving effort LeBron hasn't given this effort defensively since he was 33 years old. This was 7 years ago that I haven't seen LeBron give this much effort defensively and on a game to game basis. And so you have to say, man, LeBron's giving this effort at 40, and then you see other guys give an effort and you're like, that's coaching. That's them believing in the game plan and saying, I believe in my coach. Right. And so for all those reasons, the Lakers look tremendous. And in my humble opinion, these guys are going to the finals.
Yeah, I just want to say real quick that I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but LeBron James has won Player of the Month, only player at 40 years old to do so. And if you look at his numbers since turning 40 years old, his numbers are all better from his 2012-2013 season where he was one vote away from being unanimous MVP. Like, this guy is, bro, he's the fucking GOAT. He's the GOAT, bro. Like, honestly, I'm starting to get to a point in this conversation where I don't even think it's becoming a debate anymore. And as a matter of fact, LeBron may be in a tier of his own, like above Jordan, like a whole tier above him. Like I'm literally starting to believe that, bro, because it's like, bro, this guy is just ridiculous. Like, how at 40 years old do you have better numbers than when you're 27?
Think about that, bro. That's a 13-year gap. People don't even have 13-year careers.
Exactly, bro. That's what I'm saying. And at 40, he has better numbers than at 27. He just won Player of the Month. Like, this is just freaking crazy, bro. Like, I'm literally starting to believe he's in his own tier above Jordan, bro.
And I was thinking, and I hope I don't jinx myself. I hope this isn't the show that I don't jinx LeBron. But when I watch LeBron play, I'm like, LeBron has never suffered a long-term serious injury. Never. And you look at it as the worst thing that he's had was it was like 4 years ago. I think it was 2022 when he had that when the guy, I forget who it was, but he landed on his knee or his ankle rather. He landed on LeBron's ankle, which that wasn't supposed to happen. It was just a friggin' play where the guy just dove at LeBron's ankle. And then from there, he's been having ankle issues, but he sat, I think it was like 3 weeks he sat or something like that. But other than that, LeBron has never suffered a serious injury. And even when he went up for that block against the Clippers and he landed really wrong, and I was like, oh, LeBron, bro. And then you see him and he like bounces right up. And I'm like, bro, like this guy just landed all crazy and he just bounced right up. Like it's like he never has the injuries. Never is he out for a freaking hamstring injury for 2 months. He's never out for like this guy's just I've never seen anything like LeBron James, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, it's because he takes such great care of his body. Like, I mean, we see how muscular he's built, and we've seen how long his career has lasted. It's because he takes good care of himself. He stays in the gym, he eats well, and he just works on his game. And obviously, he's very good at basketball. So, with him continuing to do all of that, he's going to sustain his longevity.
Yep. And LeBron, it's kind of like it's kind of like you can tell he's the best player to ever walk earth because he's changed his game. And I don't even mean like he's gotten better. No, he's completely changed his style. And this we've never seen in NBA history. And I don't know why people aren't talking about this enough about LeBron James, but he's completely changed his style where early on in his career, he was a bit of a jump shooter, but he was a lot more like get into the paint in mid range. Then you get to his Miami days, and he's like, I'm a really, really good passer, but I don't like, you remember the rhetoric around LeBron was he didn't like being in the paint. He didn't like posting up. He wanted to stay on the perimeter. He played defense on the perimeter. He was a lob threat, dunks, alley oops, all this, but not a great shooter, right? If you look at the numbers, he actually started his career good shooting, and then it went kind of downward after he became a better finisher. The shooting really went down. And then now he's more skilled than he's ever been. Like he doesn't have the athleticism anymore, but just from a pure skill talent perspective, this is the most skilled LeBron James has ever been in his life. He's pulling local three pointers. He has a post game. He's doing step back fadeaway jump shots every game. This was not LeBron James' game. Go back and watch a 2012 Miami Heat game. LeBron James was not taking these shots, right? And so you're looking at it and you're like, this guy's getting better with age. How does that happen? And it's because he's completely changed his game, where his body was used to running and jumping and flipping and bending. Now it's like, let me catch and shoot. Let me do post step backs. Let me do this. And now his body feels chill now. And it's just amazing to see a guy. This has never happened in NBA history. A guy completely change his style of basketball.
Yeah, I mean, coming into LeBron's career, on his rhetoric, one of his flaws was his jump shooting, and now that's one of his strengths. Like, it's just freaking crazy, bro. Like, LeBron's best year shooting the ball was the year he almost won unanimous MVP, which was 2013. He shot, I believe, 41 or 42% from three that year. That was like his only good shooting season in his Miami span. And right now, he's shooting better than that. He's shooting 47% from three since turning 40 years old. Like, that is just freaking unreal, bro. And bro, watching LeBron now compared to like his Miami days, back then he was like physically more dominant, because he was younger, more athletic. But now that the athleticism just ain't there no more, he just worked on his shooting. He's doing more catch and shoot shots. He's doing more post fadeaways. He's pulling logo threes. He's completely changed the way he plays basketball, bro. And I think this is a big reason why he's managed to last so long. If he wasn't willing to make those adjustments, like if he just kept playing like how he played in
Right.
2013, the injuries would have gotten to him and he would have been done. But he takes care of his body and he's also careful with the way he plays. He adjusted his game and found other ways to be effective rather than, just relying on dunking on people or body banging all the time to get to the basket.
Right. Exactly. Like LeBron, the rhetoric was LeBron didn't want to play in the post. Now all he does is play in the post and cut and move and wide open 3 pointers, and it's just crazy, man. It's crazy. So but yeah, guys, we'll move on here, guys. We'll get to the end of the show because I'm running out of gas here. But it was a great show. We went over Kyrie Irving and his injury. God bless Kyrie Irving, man. We're praying for him. He's one of my favorite. Pete knows he's been one of my favorite players forever. So I love Kyrie. Prayers for him. But Dallas, I'm laughing. I'll be going to bed with a smile on my face, knowing that the Lakers got Luka Doncic. So we'll end the show there, guys. Before we get out of here, just like and subscribe, guys. Help us to impact and to reach as many people as possible. And then we'll talk to you guys again on Thursday. We'll bring a little political show. It won't be too long because we're going to be doing the bulk of it on Rumble. But if you guys are interested in our politics, definitely catch us out Thursday, and then check us out on Rumble as well, guys. And then we'll talk to you guys again on Thursday. Thank you guys so much for watching.